Hey everybody! So I wanted to put together a video and show you how amazing this Deluxe Cooking Blender is. Because you've seen it in the party, you're asking questions about it, and I want you to see it in all its glory in an actual kitchen, which I did clear the baby toys off the floor for you, but if I move too far, you might be able to see the blue crayon on my door, and that I just realized is also on my spatula. There's momming for you. So this Deluxe Cooking Blender is super, super cool. Pampered Chef outdid themselves again because they're all about making meal times easier, helping you keep your sanity, and stress-free dinners. We want to help bring your family around the table without you having to sit in the kitchen and cook all day. That's what this blender lets you do. And between this blender and my quick cooker, y'all, I am in heaven. I don't really have to do anything to cook dinners much anymore. So let me give you a tour of this, and then I'm gonna make some hummus. Because I actually had this hummus the other night, and it is the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. Even if you don't care for hummus, which I'm not a big hummus fan, it is so delicious when you make it fresh in here. So let's get started. Let me give you a quick tour. So first of all, you have a heat shock safe glass canister, okay? A lot of you are probably wondering how in the world this is different from a Vitamix, because that's kind of what we're comparing it to. And as someone who is fond over a Vitamix, I am well versed in what a Vitamix can do and what it can't do. What our blender can do that a Vitamix cannot is heat. A Vitamix heats its food using friction. So you may be able to serve a hot soup from a Vitamix, but it's only because of the friction of the blades. Where the Deluxe Cooking Blender heats up to 220 degrees, which is boiling point, which is why you can make just about anything in it, from sauces to soups to jam. I'm so excited about the jam because the jam is flippin' delicious. We also are the only blender on the market with that jam setting, the only cooking blender on the market with a jam setting, and we're the only cooking blender on the market with, get this, a heated wash setting, which I'm going to show you after I make my hummus. Okay, so we've got some presets down here, and we've got smoothie, alternative milk, so you can actually make your almond, soy, oat, rice milks, coconut milk right in the blender. Yes, sirree. Grind setting, that's what you use to make your peanut butter, your nut butters, almond butter, cashew butter. Heated wash. Then on this side, you have soup, heated puree, jam, and sauce. And of course, there are also 3 custom blend settings, like different speed settings for you to make whatever you want. Like, for example, let's say you want to make, I don't know, frozen drinks, right? Or like frozen mocktails for a shower, a birthday party, or a cookout. You can do that right in here. So you also have this really nice helper handle down here. The reason this canister is glass is because our blender heats. Where a Vitamix, most of their canisters that I've seen are plastic. No knocking on plastic, but when you're heating to boiling point, you probably don't want to do that in plastic consistently. It's not good for you. So we have the glass canister. It's a little bit heavy, not heavy, but heavier than a plastic canister would be. So we have this nice helper handle here that helps you lift it right off the base. Important thing to know, there are electric elements down here because this blender does heat. This blender does not swim, it doesn't go in the sink, it doesn't go in your dishwasher. That's why Pampered Chef said, hey, why don't we just make it clean itself so people don't even have to remember to not put it in the sink. It also comes with stickers right on here that remind you to not put it in the sink, not put it in the dishwasher. Your lid here locks on and off, okay? It comes with a splatter shield, which this is the splatter shield, but it also has a boil over guard that looks like a funnel that you can pop on for when you're making your sauces for when they start to get really hot. So when I say that this will cook, I mean you can put in raw sweet potato and it will become sweet potato soup. The difference between this and the other blenders on the market that are comparable is you have to cook those sweet potatoes first, and it'll puree them, it'll keep them nice and warm, but it won't cook them, not from raw. So this guy is really, really powerful. And one common question I had, or one big question I had, and it was a common consultant question was, how do I kind of clean the bottom? Because the blades must be really sharp They're actually not. So I'm gonna come up on this. You're gonna see that one of the blades is serrated. That metal plate you see at the bottom is the heating plate. And so that's what's gonna heat the food. Now, it is only really gonna heat the food if you want it to. So we're gonna make hummus, which is one of the recipes in the cooking guide that comes with your Deluxe Cooking Blender. It has recipes that go with every setting in the blender. That way, you have a place to start before you venture out on your own. So I'm gonna make the hummus. This is gonna be quick. This is gonna be like a 5-minute deal here. I'm gonna scoot this guy to the end of my counter. I normally don't use it over here. I'll use it over in that nook, but I just moved it here for you to see. So I'm gonna try and make sure you can see. So here's the recipe. And the important thing to note about the recipes in this cooking guide is it is really, really important that you put in the ingredients the way that they are listed from beginning to end, top to bottom, left to right. And the reason for that is you really need to have some liquid in the bottom of the blender to create a vortex that'll kind of keep stuff coming back down. All right, so it says, add the ingredients in the order listed to the pitcher. Replace and lock the lid. Turn the wheel to the grind setting and press the wheel to start. Now, I'm opening up my Great Northern beans with my can opener. And sometimes the glue on these Food Lion cans gives me trouble. I don't have that trouble with other cans, but sometimes these Food Lion cans give me trouble. I'm just gonna pry it up. There we go. And notice that's not sharp. That's the magic of our can opener there. And so it does say to reserve some of the liquid from the garbanzo beans, the chickpeas. I'm not going to reserve liquid from my Great Northern beans. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drain those out. And it doesn't say to rinse them, so I'm not gonna rinse them, because if Pampered Chef wanted me to rinse it, they'd tell me. So I'm draining those, and my chickpeas have the easy handle on them. And it says to reserve about 1/4 cup of liquid from the can. Now, when you get your Deluxe Cooking Blender, consultants have noticed there might be a little typo in this recipe because it doesn't specifically say when to add that liquid back. You would add that liquid back if you needed it, if your hummus was too thick, because it's a bit more flavorful than just adding water. So I'm gonna drain my chickpeas right into a measuring cup. I'm just gonna reserve all the liquid because it's just easier than having to measure it out. Okay, good to go. This is a super cheap recipe too, by the way. All right, so I'm gonna add in my can of chickpeas right in the bottom. I'm gonna add in my can of Great Northern beans, okay? I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, which is about the juice of half a lemon. So I'm gonna roll my lemon a little bit, and I'm gonna juice it using my citrus press. I'm gonna cut it with my coated utility knife here. I love these little guys. And with your citrus press, you always put your citrus in upside down, flat side down. If you make it fit and look pretty, like it nests down in there, you're actually not gonna get all the juice out. So you put it upside down. And I will say, this is harder if you're short to get it up so high. There we go. Not hard to use, just hard if you're having to do it above your head. All right, so I've got that. And I don't mind lemon, so that was probably more than 2 tablespoons. I'm fine with that. I like lemon. Next ingredient is 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you can really use any oil you want. Another oil I really like to use in the kitchen is avocado oil. People forget about that, but it's a nice healthy fat. So 2 tablespoons. 1. This is my adjustable measuring spoon. I swear by these. They're so nice because you only need 1. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna do a little dash just for fun. 1 clove of garlic peeled is what this recipe calls for. Now I will say, I hate my hands smelling like garlic. I was going to press it because you also get a better garlic flavor when you press it. So I'm gonna pop my clove into my garlic press here, and I don't have to peel it to go into the garlic press. Okay. Scrape the rest out because you see my peel pops right out there. So I pop it right into that can. Dang it. got it on my counter. Now, here's the part of this recipe that helps show the power of this blender. Typically, when you make hummus, you need tahini, which is sesame seed paste. This recipe calls for sesame seeds because this blender is so powerful. It's going to pulverize those sesame seeds into tahini, so you actually don't need to pay for that very expensive ingredient. This whole jar of sesame seeds was $3 something. You can get a packet of them in the Hispanic food section for less than $1, okay? So it calls for about a tablespoon. I'm making sure, a tablespoon right in, okay? And then a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna use my salt grinder here. The salt and pepper grinder set, I have to tell you, is one of my loves. And the pink Himalayan salt, I'll say, I'm a little generous with it because I don't find it to be as salty as regular salt. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna put in just a teeny bit of liquid to start, just because I know from experience that this tends to be a little bit thick. But every can of chickpeas is different. So if you make it once and you find that, oh, I didn't really need that extra liquid, don't assume that you never need it, because every can is different and some chickpeas might be drier than others. You never know. So I'm popping my lid off and I'm using my tamper, all right? This tamper, I wanna say, I was really scared about using the tamper, but it's designed to not hit the blades. So you do not have to worry about the tamper hitting the blade. You can put it all the way down to here, which you're gonna see me do. It's not gonna hit the blade. It took me 3 uses to finally be brave enough to see, and it doesn't. So I'm gonna turn my blender on with the switch on the side, okay? And it beep boops. And I use the dial to adjust my setting, and I'm gonna scroll through. It's gonna go grind setting. Now see, I don't know if you can see from there, but these settings are blue outlined. These are red. These are my cold settings. These are my heated settings. Pretty cool, right? So here we go. And I just push this button to go. It's gonna take 2 minutes, 20 seconds till we have hummus. And I do wanna say, you wanna use the tamper when the blade is moving but no food is in the blade. Okay, and if you find that you can't seem to get the food in the blade, that's what means it's too thick, and we'll just add a little bit of liquid. All right, here we go. Hummus, do you see, I've got to show you. Do you see how smooth and creamy this is? Okay, to me, this does not even compare to the stuff you buy in the store. Oh my good night. It's so good, it's so good. Okay, so I'm gonna hit cancel, because I'm done. I didn't even need to go 2 minutes, 20 seconds. All right, let me show you the beautiful hummus. Now remember, this does not go in my sink. I'm gonna open it up. This part is sink and dishwasher safe, the lid is, but I'm just gonna set it aside. I'm actually just gonna wipe it with a paper towel. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good, I can actually eat it with a spoon. It is that good. So I'm gonna take my hummus right out of here. Look at the beautiful, thick hummus I have there. It's thick, but it's so creamy. And that setting on the blender, it almost aerates the hummus. It's just so good. Okay, so I'm gonna get a container out because that's one thing I actually didn't do in advance. And I'm gonna go ahead. So I used a little more liquid than I thought. That's why I reserve all of it, because like I said, you never really know what you need. All right, so I'm gonna use my scraper to get down in the bottom here. I wish you could, like, seriously, look at the beautifulness of that hummus. So you can serve this with pita chips. That's a common thing, but if you're trying to be carb friendly, if you are keto, you can eat this with some cut vegetables, which is what I'm gonna do while my blender is heating. I'm actually gonna serve this with, or heating my heated wash setting. While my wash is going, I'm gonna cut some vegetables real quick. I'm gonna cut up some cucumbers and a couple colored peppers. I prefer colored peppers, like the red, yellow, orange, if I'm eating them raw, just because I find them to be a little bit sweeter. They have a little more flavor, where sometimes the green ones can just taste blah to me. All right, so I've got about as much out of the bottom as I can. So I'm gonna show you what's left. I would totally lick this if I wasn't on camera. So I'm gonna show you what's left in the bottom. So I've got a good amount there. So the heated wash setting, I'm gonna pop this back on, and I'm gonna measure 3 cups of water. So here's the thing. You don't wanna put more than 3 cups of water. And there are measurements on the side, but because I made a mess of the sides, I'm not doing that. Side note, I love these measuring cups. I love the way that they don't have a handle. They do have a handle, but they just hold real nicely in your hand. They don't take a lot of cabinet space. And I'm gonna put in a little drop of dish soap. I actually have like the pump on my sink, so that's what I did. I just put it on my hands. And you don't want to put in more than a teeny tiny drop, especially if you use Dawn. And you don't want to put more than 3 cups. Don't eyeball it, you'll make a mess. Okay, I am gonna put this back on, and I'm gonna scroll this over to heated wash. I'm gonna hit go. All right, hummus. Look at the beauty that is that hummus. So you can see this is actually not that loud. My kids are sleeping. So obviously if I'm blending something that's loud, it's going, you know, like if I'm doing a smoothie with ice, it's going to be loud. But otherwise, it really shouldn't be. So a little tip, cut the top off the pepper, and then I can usually pull the whole center right out. See that? How I just cut around the top? Oh, I guess I don't want to waste all that. And then this little guy, he pops out, this top of the pepper, he pops out. Okay. Cut the rest of these little seeds out of here. So I am using my flexible cutting mat as kind of my base camp. I use multiple of these a day. They come in sets of 3, a large set and a small set. I have a set of each because I use them all day for just about anything, for catching my mess if nothing else. So I'm gonna use my quick slice while this is heating up. So you can see it's heating up to, it's at 99 degrees. It's gonna go to 140 degrees. So I've got my pepper here, and my quick slice is gonna make really pretty slices out of my pepper. So I'm just gonna make it so it'll fit onto the quick slice base. And you just wanna rock it. And I like these little fingerling sticks. But see, perfect slices that would have taken me forever to do without this guy. If they get stuck, you just pull them out. But you see the blades are kind of angled like a tree to make for easy cutting. Now I want to clarify, some of you are seeing this, you're probably like, oh my gosh, I can do my potato fries in there. No, you cannot do potatoes in here. The blades are not strong enough. You'll bend them and or break it and hurt yourself. So no, not for potatoes, but just for about everything else. So my wash cycle is started. And it's gonna run There you go. My blender has washed itself, and all I have to do, and it comes with this tool. This is the dual-sided cleaning brush. So I take this off, and this is hot, by the way. Like, this heats up. Look at that heat coming off of there. You see that steam? Yeah, do you see the steam there? So I just take my little cleaning brush and I go around where the lid was, because obviously it's not going to get into where the lid was. And all I have to do is just kind of, I swirl it around the bottom just to make myself feel better. And then I'm gonna take this with my helper handle here, because this is gonna get hot. And I'm gonna dump it on the side. And I wanna show you, before I even rinse it out, look how clean it got. You saw everything that was in there, so it really does clean itself. So all I have to do is rinse it and stick it back on, and I'm done. So this guy is amazing. It is a power tool in your kitchen. It will change how you cook. And for anyone who is thinking, oh my gosh, it's a blender, you really think I'm gonna have a blender run while I'm doing things? Because it can take like 30 minutes to make a soup. One, it's not that loud. I have two 2-year-olds who don't love loud noises, and they're not really fazed by it. And two, it pulses. It's not running constantly for the time that it's cooking your soups. And three, it's the sound of me not cooking. It's the sound of me not banging pans, moving things around, standing over a stove, complaining about the fact that I'm standing over the stove. So this really is a kitchen lifesaver. I hope y'all have a great night. Bye.